Well, hey everybody, I'm the Crockett Coon'er, and this is the Crockett Coonhound Show, and you've made it to Fireside Chats with the old Coon'er here. It is January the 18th, 2025, guys, and tonight I'm talking a very important subject, especially for outdoor folks, and that is footwear. Now, here on the show, guys, if you followed us for a long time, especially on different platforms, you know I have talked about all different types of shoes. One pair that I really loved, show you a pic there, is the old Danner boots with the snake chaps that Scooter gave to me one time. Great pair of boots. Good, especially, you know, in cold weather, keep your legs warm, keep you dry. I've also done a lot of stuff about the Zero shoes. You know, I had a whole video on that because we are in their affiliate program, and you know, we got into chevrons on the boots and everything. And then also at other times, guys, we've talked more active footwear. Maybe you don't want to wear a pair of boots. You know, we've talked some running shoes, and Scooter has, in fact, even toyed around one of my favorite picks there, guys, with the old toe shoes. He did back in the day. He wore those things just to see how they would do. But it's not so much tonight, guys, a particular brand of shoes that I want to talk about, or boots. It's, you know, what to look for, in my opinion, in Scooter's opinion, because, guys, we spend a lot of time in the outdoors. Now, definitely most everybody is going to dress or put on a pair of shoes for what they're going to do. But if you're like myself and you're like Scooter, you know, we have that kind of rough exterior, guys. Scooter does a lot of tool and die work along with doing a lot of video editing and running websites. And he's there with heavy pieces of metal. Then he's also, you know, just off work. He's got to go home, go outside, film something. You know, he'll be in the wilderness. Much like myself, guys, like everybody else, I have to make a trip up there to the grocery store. But then again, I'm liable to come home, put everything away, and walk right in the dog pens, or it'd be right there, nighttime, turning dark. Somebody will show up. Hey, let's take the dogs out, you know, and if I don't run inside and grab my boots, I'm wearing what I got on my feet. I look for footwear that's kind of versatile. You know, it looks nice when you're dressed, not to mention it serves its purpose really well. So that's what I want to get into, because, you know, these are things that I have found over time and Scooter has found that seem to be things that you really need to look for. All right. So, in our opinion, guys, and I'm pretty well, he may have some other things to add to this particular video, but you know, if you wear like a boot, like a hiking type of boot a lot, let's talk a little about that one. And this kind of goes also for tennis shoes. That's why we really liked the Zero shoes. First of all, let's talk at the bottom. I'll use the Zero shoes and show you guys. If you notice the tread pattern there, guys, the chevrons, which way they're facing, and that's those little guys, they're facing, you know, they help you get grip, guys. Now, how many times has anybody here ever in their life, you know, been out, all of a sudden just a rainstorm, you're there in town, concrete slick, you know, you want something that'll get some grip. That is one point, is the bottom. A lot of times people don't look at the sole of the shoe to look down there and see what kind of grip it's got. You know, it's kind of understandable many times with like dress shoes, but we're talking knocking around. You know, you're kind of a homesteader, you need a good pair of boots basically, you know. But also when you get into certain types of other like active footwear, you know, a good grip down there on the bottom, you know, something that really grabs a hold is what most everybody needs if you live a lifestyle similar to, you know, what you guys know that myself and Scooter live now, especially in the outdoors. But other things that we look for, guys. Now, I'll tell you this one specifically. I know we have talked about it a few times, and I'll tell a little on myself here, guys. When I sit my feet down, guys, I have a really wide foot. I need a wide shoe all the time. And if you're like me and you just go down and sometimes you just buy the old, just whatever's there on the shelf shoes, If you start noticing they're on the side of your foot, you'll start wearing that out. And I do that a whole lot with hunting types of boots if they're not a wide boot. So, we're talking feel, and then also many pairs of boots don't come in a wide size. That's one thing that I believe is something that you should look for, is actually the width of your foot. Now, many times in department stores and things anymore, guys, they don't have the old scales out there where you can measure and see exactly what size you are. But something that I like to add for folks that, are especially new, kind of to being more in the wilderness and things, and you guys are saying, hey, we need some type of like a hiking boot, right? And all around, not just cold weather, not just hot weather type of boot. One thing to consider or remember, I personally believe, is stepping up one size. For instance, I wear a 13, but the boots that Scooter gives me, many times he's test run those things for me. He wears a 14. When I put my foot in there, it actually doesn't slide too much, but it leaves me enough room if I'm in cold weather and I've got to double up socks or put on real good heavy wool socks. Now that's always something to look for. Another thing, guys, knowing the difference between waterproof in a boot, and then completely sealed. So waterproof means just that. Be more like a rubber type of boot, meaning that the only way it's even going to get any water in it is for it to fill up over the top. So that's something many times that folks, they kind of miss. Not to mention, if you follow other folks on the internet, that when you're talking about things like Red Wing boots and stuff like that, many of those, they have like a steel shank in the sole of them. That's really good if you're going to, ride horses, climb ladders a whole lot. If you are on your feet a lot, if you ever notice a lot of folks that work like on highway department jobs and things like that, you'll see them there doing construction on the side of the road. Those gentlemen many times wear Red Wing. They're a good boot. But also, guys, we need to mention a little bit about construction. Now, guys, I like a shoe or a boot, either one, that is truly like got a lot of leather in it. It's harder to wear out once you put many miles on it. If you just love that particular pair of boots, you've got them broke into your feet. You can, in fact, find folks that can resole them. There's tons and thousands of videos online where you see people pulling the soles off. And that's another thing to mention right there for folks that are basically new to the outdoors. When we start talking boots, one thing to look for is single welt and double welt. That's something to go check out. To tell you a little bit about it, it's how they do in fact hook the sole of your shoe on. Is it single, doubled around through there to make it, that much stronger. But like I said, I like a leather boot, guys, but I really look into the construction of the boots when we get them. Scooter does too. Have we got the old type where they've used a punch and just punched a hole through the leather and then ran a bootlace through it? Or does it have the eyelets? That helps tremendously, guys. It helps maintain the boots. And then also, if you look at like a higher type of boot, a lot like the Danner, I'll show you guys a pic here. When we're talking snake boots that come all the way up to my knees, I want to know what type of eyelet system they've got as you go on up. Because I have in times past had boots that the eyes have tore out of them. I've also had some that had like the hook system. Now they usually did pretty well. You could also speed lace those, get them on and off your feet really quick. That can be very handy, guys, for folks that like to camp. One thing, always flip your boots upside down, bang them together, shake them before you even remotely stick your hands in there. In the morning times, if you've had them off at night where you're by a campfire, because our little friends like to get in there, snakes, spiders, squirrels, woodchucks, mice, all of them, they like to find a nice warm spot to hang out, and sometimes in your boots is a good place. So before you stick your feet down in there, that's a little word of advice here from the old Coon'er if you take them off while you're camping. But you know, the construction up there, guys, that's what I'm saying. I like the boots. That's one thing I loved about the Danners, is I could speed lace them if I needed to, guys. I could get them on and off my feet really, really fast. A few other things to look into a lot of folks may not know about. So if you do, you know, I apologize, but if you don't, you know, all of us know the old crisscross pattern to lace our boots and tennis shoes and things, but you can also bar lace them. There's a lot of different things that go on. So, you know, that's kind of the point of my video here tonight, is, you know, maybe give you guys a few terms if you don't know about them. That way you can go check that out, see what I'm talking about exactly, find out what'll be the best fit for you, because, you know, in the wilderness, guys, in the outdoors, your feet are the key. You don't want them too hot, you don't want them too cold, you don't want a pair of boots that ride up and down and wear blisters on you. You know, something that's easy to get on, easy to get off, but then again, something that is like a good heavy tire on a four-wheel drive pickup truck. You want it to last when you're out there. Now, also, guys, myself and Scooter, we carry this over into other things. We carry this into dress shoes. We carry this into tennis shoes. We are very specific about looking at what type of shoe we wear, making sure, number one, that it fits correctly and it does what we want. Now, here in southern Middle Tennessee, guys, in the summertime, especially for folks that work outside, you know, a heavy boot can give you some horrible swamp foot. It's awful. So many times, depending on the project outside, we will wear just, you know, normal trainers, normal tennis shoes, those types of things. Myself and Scooter both, we really like to look into like the laces. You know, do they have a tube lace, a flat lace? How wide are they? You know, things that are really good constructed shoes, because like I said, I'm liable to be outside, guys, just messing with a barbecue grill, and then 20 minutes later, I'm liable to be at the creek. And if I'm going up and down a spot there where it's rained, that it's muddy, I want a good pair of tennis shoes that are, you know, for folks that remember like the old skateboarding shoes that are flat on the bottom, that doesn't work real good there. I want even a tennis shoe that has a bit of a cleat to it to help me get up. But, you know, the next time, for anybody that follows us, you guys go to buy boots, especially like outdoor type of trail hiking boots, those types of things. Those are kind of a few of the points that myself and Scooter have been wanting to share with you guys. You know, things to look into, the shank of them. Are they steel-toed? If so, does it actually have the metal in there, or does it have the plastic? That comes in very handy. Also, are they like the thermal insulated boots? Many times they're not. Many times they're not. You would think something as heavy as an outdoor boot would keep you warm no matter what, but that's not the case. Especially if you're out there sitting still on a climbing stand and they're not an insulated boot, your feet will freeze. That's why the old Coon'er here is saying, if that is the way you go, make sure you go up a size there. That way you can put on 2 pairs of wool socks. Remember, I say it all the time, dress in layers, guys. That way you can take things off and put things on. It also helps with your body heat. It helps absorb moisture away from your feet, also to keep you warm. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end this small fireside chat right there. I was out here tonight, and I thought, you know, I need to talk a little footwear, because if your feet go down in the wilderness, guys, out in the trail around the homestead, then you go down, and that is definitely something you don't want to happen. But I say it all the time, guys, definitely stay safe on the water, stay safe in the woods, and stay tuned here at the Crockett Coonhound Show. And myself and Scooter will have you guys another video dropping shortly. You guys have a great day.